who do we need to pay attention to in Tuscaloosa, Alabama as spring football gets on and popping? Nick Saban and company, standards way up here. Win national titles, win the SEC, pretty straightforward, okay? So who do we need to watch for on this roster during spring practice that's going to be crucial in allowing them to achieve their standard? Got a couple of players I want to talk through, the first of which being Maryland transfer, tight end CJ Dupree. Now, CJ Dupree is a big boy, man, 6'5", 260 pounds. Why do we need to focus on what he's going to do in the spring? Well, one, he's a new face, so you just want to see how the new guys mesh with the team and how to look during spring practice. Now you're in Alabama. You were previously at Maryland. Just kind of different worlds when it comes to college football. But even more specifically, Tommy Rees, man, what do you and I know about him? He's going to use the tight end. I think he's going to use multiple tight ends if we're using history and the tape as our teacher, as I think we should. Michael Mayer at Notre Dame under Tommy Rees, he's going to be a high draft pick. I'll just leave it at that. Was very productive. They made him a point of emphasis in the pass game, in some ways because Notre Dame didn't have a ton in the pass game outside of Michael Mayer. But you hear what I'm saying. CJ Dupree, I think, could step into that role that Michael Mayer had for Notre Dame. So I'm just curious to see how they utilize him, what the split is for him in terms of how much they split him out in the slot, how much he plays with his hand in the dirt. Just curious to see. He's a special player. A lot of other schools wanted CJ Dupree when he jumped into the portal. A lot of big-time schools that are going to play for the college football playoff or at least be in the mix for it. Alabama got him. How does he add in now? Also, they're going to want to run the football. You and I both know that. Tommy Rees, I believe they were a 60% of the time, give or take, run football team at Notre Dame. Adding another big human being, like I said, 6'5", 260, helping that offensive line, move the line of scrimmage. That's a big factor. So keep an eye on him. Think he's someone to watch for during spring practice. Make sure you're subscribed to the On 3 YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Piquel. Just helps us, okay? I'll leave it at that. We appreciate y'all. Ty Simpson is going to be in that quarterback derby. We got to keep an eye on him. He was a top 3 quarterback in the 2022 class. And I'm just curious to see what he looks like as he gets more and more reps with the ones and twos, as you would imagine he would with this battle going on between him and Jalen Milroe. Ty Simpson, to me, is the most unknown in this quarterback race because it really feels like a 2-horse race, right? Not to knock Eli Holstein. I think he'll probably factor in to some degree, but we've seen Jalen Milroe in a game. We've seen him do freakish things in the last spring game they played. I mean, he generated a lot of buzz on social media by what he did with his legs. Obviously, a tremendous athlete. Kind of reminds you of a Jalen Hurts. I believe that's Charles Power, director of scouting rankings for On 3, by the way. That's his comp for Jalen Milroe. Ty Simpson, we don't know a ton about. We haven't seen a ton of live action from him just yet. So I'm just curious to see, does this talented 5-star kind of quarterback from the 2022 class, does he do anything to wow us during spring? What's the intel over there at Bama Insider, the Alabama On 3 site? What's the buzz around him? Is it, hey, he's going out and he's grabbed the job. He's grabbed the job. He is dealing the rock. He looks in control. He looks in command. Ty Simpson, I'd be surprised if he's not the guy day one. Is it that kind of buzz, or is it back and forth? Wasn't super accurate today. Kind of looks like it's his first time taking snaps with the ones. Just curious to see, because Jalen Milroe, as talented as he is athletically, just from what I've seen, I have reservations about what he's going to do pushing the ball downfield vertically. I'm not saying Ty Simpson can do it better. That's one of the reasons why I want to watch him this spring and see what we're getting there. So keep an eye on it. Ty Simpson, one of the more unknown commodities in this whole spring practice, to be honest with you. Now, another offensive player for you, and then I got a defensive player, Jase McClellan. We know what we saw from him last year. 655 yards on 112 carries, 7 touchdowns. Here's the crucial stat, though. 6 yards a carry for Jase McClellan. Anytime I was watching Alabama, he was doing big things. And Jahmyr Gibbs gone to the league. Jase McClellan's going to get, I would imagine, a little bit of an uptick in his carries. What does he look like during spring practice? Because Bama's going back to bully ball. Bama's going back to, we're going to run the football and move this line of scrimmage until you say uncle. You got to try and stop us. Can you do it? A lot of it rides with Jase McClellan. So how does he look? I've said this before about running backs in spring practice. I'm really curious on the eye test. Do they look explosive? Do they look comfortable in the offense in terms of pass protection? Are they reading the holes with ease? Do they seem comfortable out there? Because that'll translate into the fall. Having a base of being comfortable and being strong and being explosive obviously kind of sound like cliches, but during spring practice, that's kind of what you're going off of, for my money at least. So Jase McClellan, what does he do during spring? Because he's going to see a lot of the football, I would imagine, when it comes to Tommy Rees's offense and how much they want to run the football. So watch out for Jase McClellan. Now, this last player brings with him to Tuscaloosa a ton of juice. And that is true freshman, early enrollee, Caleb Downs. Now remember, Alabama loses Jordan Battle and Brian Branch. The way I see it, there's some snaps to be had on the back end now in this new Kevin Steele defense. I'm just curious how Caleb Downs hits the ground running. Extremely instinctual, extremely savvy kind of player. Charles Power, his comparison for him at the NFL level is Eric Berry. I've said this before. You don't just hand out Eric Berry comparisons at the high school level to kids, okay? So high praise for Caleb Downs. Is he able to hit the ground running in terms of getting up to speed with this scheme? Is he comfortable in this Kevin Steele defense? Is he able to start letting his instincts take over? Because first you got to learn the scheme. First you got to have the tools to walk. And then once you start running and letting those instincts take over, that's when he's really going to be special. So like I said, there's reps to be had. There's an opportunity for him. Enrolled early for a reason. I don't think he enrolled early just to redshirt. So what does he do? What does he look like during the spring practice? Very, very excited, because once he gets it, he's going to be a problem for the rest of the SEC. Okay, Caleb Downs, emphatically a ball player. Okay, so CJ Dupree, Ty Simpson, Jase McClellan, Caleb Downs, all guys that you need to make sure you're tracking during Alabama spring practice. Get you a membership at Bama Insider, man. I promise you, they're going to take care of you with all the spring intel. We'll do the same over here, but they will do it up to the minute on the message boards, on the forums. They got you covered. Membership there. Subscribe to the On3 YouTube channel. Follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at JD Piquel, man. Y'all know the drill. Golly. I'm so freaking excited we got spring football. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.